claimed certain groups in the Philippines and the U.S. are working together to tarnish Marcos's reputation. DILG Secretary Eduardo Año sees the Communist Party of the Philippines and the New People's Army as possible suspects.
We are validating the information. The intelligence community is into it. What we can surmise, the CPP and PA and its cohorts are actually have the intent to cause embarrassment to President-elect Bongbong Marcos. No? Kasi itong mga kaliwang grupo na to, right from the start, kahit sino mo po presidente, talagang ganun yung kanilang ginagawa. They will not allow any group to conduct any nefarious activities, much more to discredit the incoming administration.
Año says all government forces are on alert against any possible threat linked to the inaugurations of Marcos and Vice President-elect Sara Duterte. Outgoing Tourism Secretary Berna Romulo Puya takes her oath as the next Deputy Governor of the Bangko Sentral. BSP head Ben Diokno swore her in as the Central Bank's 5th Deputy Governor this afternoon. Puyat will oversee the Program Management Office for the new BSP complex in New Clark City, as well as regional operations and other programs. She will also sit as Vice Chairman of the Board of Directors at the Philippine International Convention Center and as an alternate of the BSP Governor to select governing boards. Vice President-elect Sara Duterte's attire for her upcoming inauguration has been unveiled. Davao-based designer Silverio Anglacer shared a sketch of a Filipiniana gown outlined with green on the right. Is that the right or the left side? On the left side. Duterte will take her oath this weekend ahead of the inauguration of President-elect Marcos on June 30. Stay tuned to CNN Philippines for the special coverage of the inauguration of Vice President-elect Duterte in Davao City. We will bring that to you live as it happens this Sunday, June 19th. Don't miss also our documentary, Inday Sara, the Vice President, and our pre-inauguration special hosted by senior anchor Rico Tizon from 3 p.m. onwards. The United States is optimistic about relations with the country's incoming administration following the visit of State Deputy Secretary Wendy Sherman to the Philippines last week. Tristan Odalo returns to explain why.
Recalibrating the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, and the Visiting Forces Agreement, or VFA, with the United States amid a changing geopolitical situation and a Philippine administration in transition. This is among the key recommendations from a review conducted by the Hawaii-based nonprofit institution East-West Center on the 75 years of Philippine-U.S. relations. The U.S.-funded center likewise looked back at the Philippine-U.S. partnership in terms of trade, investment, aid, and people-to-people relations.
Although the challenges that we face today are different than they were 75 years ago, our two countries are still working side by side.
Recalibrate our security and alliance partnership. That includes not only the restored VFA, but also the EDCA agreement to look at new ways of working together on training and defense modernization. Sit down and figure out what elements of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework could be moved forward in the interests of both countries to expand trade and investment, technology.
In terms of security cooperation, 37 joint military exercises, or balikatan, have been conducted since 1991. The Mutual Defense Treaty is also the oldest military alliance in the Indo-Pacific region. The bilateral trade between the two countries is valued over $25 billion as of 2020. The U.S. also donated more than 33 million COVID-19 vaccines. Partnership in terms of aid and disaster response also prospered in the last 7 decades.
We have a very high priority in engaging the new administration in Manila on our relationship. And you can imagine the areas that we will cover. Our alliance issues, our military cooperation, defense cooperation, how the Philippines would like to interact with the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework.
The United States hopes that these key findings can help the U.S. to chart the course of its ties with the Philippines in the next 6 years under the Marcos presidency. Tristan Odalo, CNN Philippines.
Shifting gears, keeping your cash on hand might seem like the most convenient option, but when it comes to your savings, finance experts say it might be best to try other routes. Our senior correspondent Lois Calderon has more.
Filipinos are getting creative in saving money. There's the Ipon Challenge that can help grow savings of up to over 100,000 pesos in 1 year from setting aside little amounts each day. But they're kept in piggy banks, plastic water bottles, in drawers, or even vases.
Iniipon ko yung mga 20 na bago ngayon na coins. 2 baboy yung alikansya na plastic, nakakaipon na kami ng isa, nakakapuno na. Aabot ng 5,000.
Before po sa bangko, naglalagay po ako sa bangko ng pang savings. Tapos ngayon po, minsan sa bahay na lang din para less hassle.
But those coins and banknotes hidden at home are becoming costly for the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas money printing activities. The BSP asked the public to recirculate those coins so it does not have to mint more and instead boost state coffers to fund social services and contain the coronavirus. To help savers in remote towns, banks have to bring financial services closer to the unbanked.
Most of our kababayans live from a hand-to-mouth existence. They get paid by the hour. The moment they go to the bank, they line up and they waste 2 to 3 hours. They feel a kind of intimidated because they're wearing shorts, slippers.
When building wealth, time becomes an enemy. 1 year of locking coins and notes in a piggy bank makes your money lose its value as gasoline and food prices become more expensive. Here's the proposition of wealth coaches. Free up those coins and deposit them with banks. Banks pay interest rates for savings, so you grow your money over time.
E-banking or electronic bank are more creative. Some banks right now offer 6% interest per annum. They can afford to give that 6% is because, number one, they don't have any fiscal setup.
There are other upsides to keeping your money in the bank.
Your notes will be updated. We tend to change the look of our money. There's an insurance for deposits, 500,000 per depositor.
But because you make very little profit from time deposits, consider other investments. The list is long. Stocks, real estate investment trusts or REITs, bonds or fixed income, unit investment trusts, and mutual funds.
These are highly volatile instruments, and you must be prepared to take the loss and face the consequences.
Or be your own boss.
You start your own business, because once you start your own business, you can easily make 20% per transaction to 50% profit. It is higher compared to the bank.
The bottom line, set financial goals, weigh the risk, and get expert advice. Because money multiplies only when in good hands. Lois Calderon, CNN, Philippines.
When we return, the PBA press corps' comeback player of the year and game of the season have been announced. And the BTS member sets things straight, saying the group will continue working together and are not breaking up. Details next on Newsnight.
SMC, San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement, gama sa Davao para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement, ato ni bay. SMC, San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement, gama sa Davao para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement, ato ni bay.
RPN DXKT 1071 sa dial sa inyong mga radyo.
You're watching CNN Philippines. President Duterte is set to confer honors on a new set of national artists tonight. The event was scheduled at 4 this afternoon, but it has yet to begin. The 8 recipients for 2022 are Agnes Locsin for dance, Salvacion Lim Higgins or Slim for design, Nora Honor, Ricky Lee, and Marilu Diaz-Abaya for film and broadcast arts, Hemino Abad for literature, Fides Cuyugan Asensio for music, and Tony Mabesa for theater. Abad and Lee spoke to CNN Philippines earlier this week with advice for aspiring artists and what the award means to them.
I'm happy with the message that it sends that scriptwriters are also filmmakers. Kasi usually, pag pinag-usapan yung pelikula, director, artista lang nababanggit. Pag may festivals abroad, hindi na imbita ang writer. Mga posters, this is a way of reminding people na andito kami. Kami yung pinagmulan ng pelikulang ginawa, yung istorya.
You cannot demand from the writer, no, you write this way, you write that way. No. Every writer finds his own way with language. In other words, the writer finds his own way through the lexical wilderness of language. You make your own clearing. You make your own clearing within that language. That is style.
The honor recognizes Filipinos who have significantly contributed to Philippine arts and culture. More of our kababayans getting honored this time on the hard court for the PBA Press Corps Awards. June Mar Fajardo of the San Miguel Beermen will be named Comeback Player of the Year, returning after a year of absence because of a tibia fracture. The Meralco Bolts' Alain Maliksi is Mr. Quality Minutes, while the thrilling San Miguel versus Northport match is the game of the season. Awards night happens on June 21st, 7 p.m. at the Novotel Manila Araneta Center. Entertainment news now. Here's a first look at Barbie's famous partner in crime for the live-action film. Hollywood heartthrob Ryan Gosling will play Ken in Greta Gerwig's Barbie. The new photo has gone viral, with netizens imagining the team-up between Gosling and Margot Robbie as the titular character. The movie, inspired by one of the best-selling toys of all time, is set for release on July 21st next year. And in K-pop, Jungkook of BTS clarifying the Grammy-nominated act is not disbanding and will continue with activities together. In a live stream Wednesday, the vocalist said that they still have plenty of work to do as a group and that they will keep filming their show Run BTS. BTS recently announced that it is going on a break to focus on solo pursuits. Jungkook also told fans they're taking time off to gather energy. And that is it for now. Join me again on News.ph at 7 p.m. I'm Pia Ontiveros. And before we go, here are tips on how you can make an energy smart home. Let's watch this.
Typical na paggamit ng Pilipino. Unang-una, pag tulog pa lang, gumagamit siya ng energy, kadalasan electric fan, aircon. Pagdating sa opisina, bukas ng computer or bukas ng ilaw. Tigil yan sa lunchtime. After ng lunch, sisipa ulit yan. May pataas pagbaba. No? Pag bumababa, kadalasan yung ating kuryente, tumataas naman yung ating gasoline diesel. Yung smart home, yun yung kino-combine natin, yung energy technology sa information communication technology. So, nandiyan yung strategiya nating energy efficiency plus renewable energy plus ICT. Pinaka-benepisyo ng energy efficiency through this information communication technology tulad ng smart home or smart apps, nakakatulong ito sa pagproteksyon sa ating planeta for the future generation also.
Solar is a form of renewable energy, and it makes a home or business more self-sufficient. So if you have solar on your rooftop, you would use less of the electricity. For every kilowatt you install, you save about 1,500 pesos a month in your electric bill. And with a program called net metering, if you have excess power or excess energy from your solar, you could sell it to the utility for evening use credits.
An energy service company, by definition of law, is a provider of end-to-end solution that seeks to enable consumers of energy, especially large users of electricity and other forms of energy, to help them become efficient in how they use energy.
Nowadays, maraming nagpapatayo ng bahay na they really want to incorporate na they will have an energy efficiency. So basically, we need to start with the design of your building. For instance, you have to make sure that you have the design that has ample light. It can accommodate as much as daylight as possible. One must also consider buying home appliances that have a high energy efficiency rating or yung may mataas na EER. For instance, you should invest on inverter-based appliances. One more thing, you should also invest on bulbs. So the lower wattage like LED bulbs instead of incandescent or fluorescent lamps. You have to consider that you have to choose those things. We are one with DOE. We want them to have implement in their houses the energy efficiency as a way of life. When you talk of energy efficiency, it doesn't only talk of electricity per se. Pwede rin natin i-consider dyan yung mga consumption ng mga fuel natin.
It is really important not just for people to know about the importance of saving energy, but to really adapt energy efficiency as a way of life, because our sources of energy are also dwindling. So it's really important for everyone to not just be aware of its importance, but to really practice energy efficiency and really make it as part of their life.